And now, as you all know, we are joined again by Admiral John Kirby, who's here to take a few questions on Israel and the deal to bring home wrongfully detained Americans from Venezuela, and the President's call with President AMLO that he had earlier today. And with that, Admiral.
Good afternoon, everybody. The President had a chance this morning to speak by phone with President López Obrador of Mexico. They had a chance to talk about ongoing efforts to manage the unprecedented migratory flows in the Western Hemisphere. Building on the Los Angeles Declaration for Migration and Protection that President Biden launched in Los Angeles back in June of 22, the two leaders agreed that additional enforcement actions are urgently needed so that key ports of entry can be reopened across our shared border. President Biden has asked Secretary of State Tony Blinken, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, and White House Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood Randall to travel to Mexico in coming days to meet with President López Obrador and his team to discuss further actions that can be taken together to address current border challenges. Just a quick update, if I could, about humanitarian assistance going into Gaza. Yesterday, some 120 trucks entered through Kerem Shalom and more than 71 through Rafah. This brings the total to almost 200 in just the last 24 hours, and of course we're going to continue to work as hard as we can to increase that flow through both those border crossings and then make sure that there are processes in place to get that aid and assistance to the people who actually need it inside Gaza. That's it.
Thanks, John. The United Nations says 1 in 4 civilians in Gaza is starving. Does the U.S. believe that assessment or accept that assessment of the situation on the ground in Gaza? And who is to blame for the humanitarian situation on the ground?
Well, we're certainly not in a position to dispute those numbers or that assessment. I mean, we certainly agree that there is an immense amount of suffering inside Gaza. Hunger, obviously, but also health needs as well. And with winter coming, harsher weather is going to make it tougher for people that are not able to shelter. So we certainly share the concerns about the humanitarian crisis that's going on inside Gaza, which is why every day I come out here and talk to you about the things we're doing to alleviate that suffering.
And in terms of the responsibility, why are more trucks not getting in now? Who is saying no more trucks? Is it inspection capacity? The Israelis say that the UN doesn't have the capacity to deliver the aid inside Gaza. Where is the bottleneck?
It's not that somebody's saying no more trucks. We've been working closely with our Israeli counterparts to get that level up and sustained. And we've had days where it was and days where it wasn't. I mean, you have to remember this is also a war zone. It's an area of conflict, and that greatly increases the complexity of getting humanitarian assistance in a safe, secure manner, and more critically, making sure at the end of the pipeline that it's getting to people who are actually in need. And the UN is leading efforts on the ground, as they rightly should, to try to see about local distribution. So this is a tough problem set, but doesn't mean we're going to back off of it. And again, the last 24 hours, you had more trucks going in through Kerem Shalom than you had through Rafah. So I'm not obviously saying there needs to be more, but it's a good thing that Kerem Shalom, you can see the impact that crossing is having on getting aid in.
And just the bottleneck question, where is it the distribution?
I wish I could tell you there's like one bottleneck. There's a bunch of reasons. Every day is different. And every day, some of the limits are on the end of it, where the fighting is just making it harder to get trucks in. Some of it is the inspection regime and making sure that there's enough inspectors and that the trucks are adequately looked at and gotten through that process. Some of it is the availability of the assistance itself and the trucks themselves. So I mean, every day it's a little bit different, but we are working at this really, really hard.
I'll just one quick one on the inspection regime. Since you brought that up, we know this is the Security Council debate over this new resolution here, and the issue of who is doing the inspections is a key one in that ongoing discussions up there. Is the U.S. position that the Israelis must remain part of the inspection regime for what is going into Gaza?
I'm not going to negotiate this language here from this podium. We're still actively working with our UN partners about the resolution and the language itself. Israel has had, and understandably so, has had a role in the inspection regime, a key role, a pivotal role, and we understand and respect that. And I think I'll leave it at that.